I've learned that you don't care what this is real. Build it up, woo! Build it up, build it up, build it up. Whoa! Two wrongs don't make it right. I'm singing this one. This is 5 Heartbeats. A heart is not a home. I gotta go back. You don't, hang on. I gotta change this. I gotta change it because people talking about racism. We got this. I gotta go back while I'm getting ready. I don't think that just because people disagree with you that they're racist. I've learned that you don't build up racism with making more hate because you're building a home for them. You're making more people racist because you're telling people racist and they ain't racist. They disagree with you. All right, stop building them up. Two wrongs don't make it right. The DNC and GOP. But something about racism is coming from you. Why? Cause you need some votes. Why? Cause I'm gonna tell you why in a second. Cause that Donald Trump beat you like you was a stupid child. Don't get people killed. That's right. Cause them kids in the street, they facing a police state. Hey, police states. A police state isn't a thing for you. Not these kids, no. All right, let's stop for a minute. All right. Whew, goodness gracious. It's hot. I was singing Luther Vandross earlier. I think it's stupid, personally, to just make more racist people by calling people you disagree with racist because you don't have nothing else to say. You doodlehead, stop it. You're just making more people racist. And guess what? The only reason you're doing that is your privilege. That's why. Because you live in a McMansion. Unfortunately, I know poor people all over the place. And they come in all skins, colors, shapes, and size, and everything else. And I'm going to have to start calling people out. I'm going to start calling people out. I told you that. You see racism everywhere. Racism ain't everywhere. It ain't everywhere. And besides this whole privilege conversation, I know you. I went to college with you. Damn it, you live in a McMansion. Shut up. You live in a McMansion, they live in a trailer park. I look at my scene together. Because look, here's the thing is, you're building a home. This is how things get worked up in my head, like you're building a home for racism, right? You're like hiding real racist people. We need to go find and love out. We need to love out the racism. But we can't do that. We can't find it because now we're playing a fine Waldo game with racism because you now pushing people to go join the groups. And I told you yesterday. Yeah, if I was a little white kid right now, and I was watching this TV set and I was watching angry crowds, black people getting together, yelling, screaming, fussing in the street, burning stuff down, and other white people. I seen the other one. You see the other ones with the chains, they put them around the neck, beating us up with a pain stick? Oh, hell no. I'd be calling up the KKK, the skinheads, the Ku Klux. Look, y'all got membership. Can I get in? I don't want to join you. I don't even know you. I don't even like your message, but damn it, these people look serious. Now, I got people that look like me that's beating themselves over the head. They ain't no slaves. Oh, no. I'd be signing up. And then you're taking the real racists and you're hiding them in like a big crowd of fine Waldo faces. Faces kind of sound like fascists. Faces. Ooh, Luther Vandross. Oh yeah, man, I tell you what, I'm almost ready to go. Hang on, I gotta build my screen. I gotta build my world the same way the deep state builds their world around you fighting racism. Because that's all what this is always about. Well, let me ask y'all a question outside of your lying government. Wait a minute, Waldo didn't show up. That's the first one. Let Luther play in the background. I'm not ready. I'm gonna get ready. Hang on, let me share this out. Good morning, everybody. How come I don't see it on the screen? What the hell? Something going on. Something funky this morning. I did the meme. They might be mad at me. Oh no, is that? Oh, it just don't look right. That's a fine Waldo meme. That doesn't look right. No, let's delete that. We're gonna start over. I'm gonna build my world. You can't hear the Luther Vandross because that'll give me a copyright strike. Whoa. Don't build a home for racism. That's a bad idea. Not because they want some votes. Oh, y'all remember this scene right here? This is Luther Vandross. Racism. They just need help. They just need. See, remember this? This was in that movie. Whoa. where all they did, they just know that the blind kids need help, and they helped them get the bus out. But share, racism is real. It is real. But when you got political parties at election season, well, they need some votes. But the kids is dying in the street cause they don't know no better. Let me find Waldo. That you're stupid. That you don't realize racism is a side effect of conflict-based societies. As long as you got it with a DNC and a GOP, whoa, it's not gonna go nowhere. All right, I'm sorry. I had too much fun with it. I gotta find Waldo. This is what I'm saying. Like, we gotta find the racist people. And we gotta love them, but we can't find them because you keep pushing people over to that side. And I think it's stupid. I think it's stupid. I think you're privileged. I think you want votes. I think you live in a McMansion. You drive an SUV, but it's real people that's hungry. But DNC and the GOP, they need conflict. Yes, they do. And they got a propaganda act. Anyone think about the propaganda act? I haven't looked at that in a little bit. I think that they use the propaganda act to lie to people. All right, let me stop. Singing Luther, boy, get you hot. All right, anyway, there you go. That really wasn't singing. That was more like howling. I know, but that's okay. I can howl good darn ding dong ding-a-ling. I can do anything I want to do. All right, I howl in the morning. I drink coffee and I howl and I change the words to songs because what I'm supposed to do. I'm just tired of y'all making racism. I'm tired of y'all seeing racism everywhere. Just because people disagree with you doesn't mean they're racist. And you constantly pushing people over, making them racist because you keep calling them racist. It means we can't do our work. I'm supposed to love racism. You're supposed to have a place in your heart. Didn't Luther Vandross say that? You're supposed to have a place in your heart. You're supposed to build a house and a home for the racist people to let them in and show them the blind kids on the bus like Rich Pride did, and the racism people help you get there. I forgot the scene. I gotta show you this. This is gonna get me in trouble, but I really don't care. I don't care because y'all getting people killed and you privileged. You're getting people killed and you privileged, and as long as you keep marching out there, I look at everybody's Instagrams and I look at everybody's things, and I'm like, yeah, you need to fight white privilege. And I'm like, dude, I went to school with you. I used to work with you. I know how much money you got. I know you live in a McMansion, all right? I know white people ain't got air conditioning. Stop it. Stop it. You're just making more problems. All you're doing, you're pushing, you're swelling their numbers. The KKK right now, they love deep state, Antifa, and Black Lives Matter. I think they all get together in a group. But let me ask y'all a question. If you got a government that swears up and down it can lie to you, it creates a propaganda act, and it tries to push that amendment into the NDA that it can lie to you at any time, any place about anything, it takes your tax dollars to do it. Why does anybody still believe their government? Why? It's like your government sitting here telling you, I usurp the authority to lie to you. And then my friends and I say, you know what, the government's lying to you. And then you turn around and say, no, they wouldn't do that. Strange times. Times might be unprecedented, but not really. Not really at all. All right, let me show you this right here. Racism is not everywhere, people. No, it is not. It's almost dead and gone, but it's election season, so they need your help. They need to conscript some racism warriors to go out there and make more racist people so they can get votes. That's what they're doing. And I see you. I'm going to call you on. I'm not going to hold back no more. People say, well, is George Floyd dead, alive, false flag or not? Doesn't matter. Don't matter. Once again, does not matter at all. The bottom line is you got a government says they can lie to you, they can falsify anything, and they will pay to do it. They can buy police, they can buy black people, they can buy police cars, they can burn them in the streets, they can fake whatever videos they want to. They can fake to get in a war, or they can fake to wage a war on the homeland. You need to be vigilant. Now is a time to be vigilant, not out there making more racist people because you don't read books and don't understand economics. Anyway, good morning, everybody. How everybody doing? I'll probably get in trouble today. Ooh, all right, but there you go. Hey, but listen, we got a lot of good disaster capitalism photo apps, don't we? You know, on Instagram, you out there with the brothers, yeah, we fighting racism. Yeah, I know, from your SUV. All right, there we go. Ooh, but you know what? It's real talk time. I gotta tell you something real quick. I had a story. You are causing more problems than you're solving when you're fighting racism. Right? You're causing more problems than you're solving. We got problems to solve. Time to be an adult. You need to stop with the racism fight. You are the problem at this point in time. Ain't nobody out there burning no crosses. Ain't nobody out there hanging nobody. Not on TV. All right. But racism is real. It's just not where your political arm tells you. This is how I always do. I'll listen to parts of speeches, and at the end of them, they're like, "Go vote." And I'm like, wait a minute, hold on. You said we're gonna change things, we're gonna do some different things, we got to get rid of the racism and everything, and all of a sudden now you tell me I need to go out there and vote for a system that created the police state? Man, is you crazy? You crazy as hell. I gotta tell y'all something, but you're getting real people hurt. You're getting real people hurt. I was in a discussion with my family. A lot of my family live down south, right? A lot of my family live down south, so they actually do deal with some real problems. There's pockets, always pockets. They're not in Washington, D.C. They're not in New York. Well, New York got a little bit. They got a little teeny tiny racism. But down south, that's where it's perfected. As who said that? Dave Chappelle said it's perfected. Just racism. So they just grew up in poverty, and somebody convinced them that the black people and the immigrants was the problem. It's real racism, but you can't get to them because they're hiding in the Waldo crowd, right? They're hiding in the Waldo crowd because you're making fakeism. You're just taking white people that you don't like because you're mad about something, and you're pretending that they're racist because you don't like their argument. Now let me get this YouTube set up. I gotta tell you a story. So I was having this good conversation with my family, and they were just like, "Yeah, but Gerard, racism is real." I said, I know this. I said, but you are literally feeding the problem through your political party because your politicians that live in gated communities and mansions need votes. They don't give two damns about these black kids. They don't give two damns about the white kids. They only care about the votes. And you're helping them. You're helping piss other people off. And now they're fearful of you and what you might do with your legislator and your law. So they jump on the Republican side and vote. They don't even agree with the Republicans. They don't even like the Republicans, but they're scared. Right? Because fear drives, and you got ignorant people that built a police state, built a prison state, and they got you blaming Donald Trump. And to me, it's crazy. It's crazy. Once again, when it comes to a discussion about racism or problems in this world, Donald Trump is not even a figment. He's not even a piece in the real problem. These problems go back for hundreds of years, and besides the fact, that's the whole point, it's hundreds of years ago. So they say, yeah, well, racism. I said, well, yeah, racism is real, but you have to understand that you got people who are using fakeism. You got racism and you got fakeism. And you got people who are using fakeism to capitalize, right? They want Instagram pictures, they want Facebook pictures that they're in there fighting and stuff. And you got other people who want votes. And so what they're doing on the bodies of these children being grinded up by a police state, white and black, and immigrant and Hispanic, are feeding their capitalism, it's feeding their votes and their ego, but you do have real pockets. This is what one of my relatives said. We're down here, like the whole local government's racist. They obviously have policies to make sure that we can't get up and do this and that. And I'm like, okay, so you got some real cases where we can apply some real help. However, we can't get to them because you're making regular white folk who could be helping walk out in the crowd and beat themselves with a paint stick and wear some chains to be allies to get involved in your political game. It's politics. That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm not into politicism. Because politicism, if I can make up a word this morning, it grows racism. It grows any sort of conflict they can create. Any way they can get people to divide up against each other, to swell up problems, they can swell the government and they swell their power. That's what I'm saying. I'm done with it, y'all. I'm out the game. But anyway, that was the thing. That was a real pocket. But you're getting real people killed. You're causing real people who we need to go help. Real communities that need love. Real communities that got fire in them that need some water. But you're adding to the fire. That's what I'm saying. Your politicians are the worst thing going. But real talk, I'm gonna tell you a real story real quick. As I bring YouTube in here. And my kids, they usually don't tell me stuff till it's like after the fact. I remember there was a time my son was in New York. And this is why I do what I do. I do what I do because the problems in the world are real and politics are fake, which is why politics don't solve nothing. It creates more problems and they make profit from it. He was in New York, upstate somewhere. And I didn't even know he went. He went because Mama said he could go, and I think he might have mentioned it to me when he got back or something. He stayed up there for a weekend. He had some campfire up there, some holdout community for racism. No, let's not say that. There's a holdout community for just, you know, poor folk, whatever. And I was at some farm. They were at the barbecue around the fire at nighttime, and people got to joking, this, that, and the other, and somebody jumped up from the fire and something happened. Maybe somebody made some joke and somebody was like, "Trigger! Trigger!" And the good thing was, my son took one of his good white friends with him. Big boy. And long story, I'll tell you the whole, nah, goodness gracious, I'm putting people on blast. Nah, it's okay. It's okay, you don't know. And when a group of boys stood up to my son, his white friend stood up with him. And the only reason that something couldn't have happened on that farm to my son is because this dude stood up with him. This dude doesn't, you know, he's not, he's just a kid. He's just a kid. And the reason why my son is still here, perhaps, knowing I am literally 1,000 feet at this moment in time on this little farm right here, where a mentally ill child buried 3 children, killed one of them with a backhoe. And anyway, the problems in the world are real. The politics are fake. Problems in the world are real. There are real people who need real help, and you're not helping. You're not helping at all. Now, and that story wrapped up that later that the white friend that helped my son that I left move in later called him a trigger. They got upset. They got into a fight. It happens, y'all. It happens. It's just emotions. It's emotions. He got upset and was like, "You trigger!" And I don't think they like each other to this day. But you know, the way my mind works, the way I am, you look out for my people, you look out for people, you doing the right thing, we always good to go. Yeah, I know you called my son a trigger, but guess what? I called every single one of my friends trigger back in the day, even the white ones and the Chinese ones. We all were back then. But emotions do that to people. But you know what? From kids, I understand that. And that gentleman, he probably was 19, I guess 20 at the time, however old he was. But he stood up for my son. Emotions hit later, and he said what the things that he needed to say, but that's okay. I expect that from children. I don't expect it from grown adults that look in these streets and know we got a police state and know we got work to do. Racism is not everywhere. Is it out there? Yes, it is. But if you see it everywhere, you are growing it. You are building a house and a home for it. You are swelling its numbers, and you're taking a problem that was almost gone. It was almost gone in terms of being popular, and now you're making it popular to be racist again. And I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. I think that you are hurting. I think, well, first of all, the reason why Black Lives Matter, if you read law, you understand how that happened. You understand why they started filling the prisons up with brown bodies, and then they started swelling with white bodies too. You know why that happened. We have a police state. We have a growing police state. And oh, you know what? I'm sorry, YouTube. I'm sorry. We have a growing police state. I got to show you something. You know what the thing is? And a lot of people, like I said, if you've already got preconceived ideas on what you believe has to be true, then you can just leave now. Like, I love you to death, but you know, we got real problems to solve. I got to show you a video. But let me say this before I go there. As I try to find it, a government that writes a propaganda act that says lies don't matter. Do they believe that anybody's life matters? Why do lies not matter and you think that you can get them to make your life matter? Somebody explain that to me. That I don't understand. Maybe it's just me. Maybe my brain ain't working right. But a government that believes it can create propaganda to get people into war, to take these little young white and black and immigrant and whatever bodies and put guns in their hands and put them in tanks and send them to a foreign country to steal their resource. They don't care about anybody's life. Right? They do that on lies. Every war we've been into we've been taken into by a false flag. But that's what I was looking at this morning. It was a propaganda act. Like, so if these people can lie to you and they openly, now mind you, let's be real about it. The Propaganda Act and them putting that line in the NDAA, that was just them admitting what they've been doing for a long time. Right? If you've been studying what these governments have been up to, these Native allies, you'd realize it from Operation Mockingbird to Operation Northwood to all these things that are now being released through Freedom of Information Act requests and whistleblowers. We've been doing this a long time. All right, we've been doing it a long time. That's right, Gina D. It's real separation. If you can separate people, you can swell their groups. You can swell up the membership of Antifa, Black Lives Matter, Ku Klux Klan, skinheads. And common sense at some point in time should get adults to say, you know what, enough. I realize that you're trying to play me. I realize. But besides the fact, I'll make the case that these people don't care about you anyway. They don't care about you. They don't care about anybody overseas. All they care about is their retirement. And as a brother did a great video, I got to show you. He's going to scream at you for a minute because I scream at y'all every day. I know y'all getting sick of that. I got to show you this. This brother going to scream at you. And this is a brown-ish brother, brown-ish Moor. I'm not even sure where he's from. Don't care where he's from. Doesn't really matter. He's going to tell you something that's true. Listen to this man for a second.
Are you one of those people who's raging against Trump? You know, the protests in America and all that. Are you one of those who's acting like, you know, Trump is the devil himself? If you are, you're a fucking moron, or you're a fucking crook. Because let's look at some realities here.
Oh, whoa. Let's look at realities here. Are people dying? Yes. He made a case. Let's let him make his case. He's saying you're a moron and you're a crook. Maybe a thief of little lives. Lives are being thrown in prisons the same way they did in slavery that you're fighting, but you're not saying nothing about mass incarceration today, and you're supporting political party. Both of them. One did it, the other didn't help, and the other didn't stop them, but they're working together, they're colluding.
The reality is, in Libya right now, there are slave markets where black men are bought and sold today
and they're still
as property.
Gone.
Today. Not 200 years ago, today.
Today.
And it happened during Obama's presidency, and it happened when Hillary Clinton was a U.S. foreign minister, which is the Secretary of State.
Hang on. No, that actually can't be true because the president had black skin, and that automatically qualifies you of having character outside of what Martin Luther King said.
Did that bother you? Do you protest? Did any of these people burning and looting and protesting go burn anything then?
Did you?
Are you protesting the slave markets of Libya?
Are you?
No.
Did you?
How about concentration camps? You think Trump's a Nazi? There are concentration camps in China right now.
Right now.
Hundreds of thousands of Uyghur Muslim men are in concentration camps run by China. China is having Han Chinese men sleeping with the wives of these Muslim women so that they get they get Han.
State-sponsored rape. Huh. Not, you know, where is your outrage for that? Where's your outrage for the Congo? Where's your outrage for sending the weapons down there to give to the warlords to rape entire towns of children? Where's your outrage? Why are you angry in the street? See, the thing the case he's making that I'm trying to cheer is that if you realize something is wrong, if you realize that this Kool-Aid doesn't smell right, and you're out there acting like a fool, and you're encouraging kids to do things that's going to get them killed and records and thrown in prison because you're not really thinking about that we are played more than anything else, that they literally have a propaganda act that your government said it has a right to lie to you at any time it wants for anything that it needs and fund it through the propaganda act. All right. When you realize that something ain't right, this is when you have to speak up. And the reason you got to speak up, why, is because police kill more white kids than black kids, but more black kids in percentage, and police shouldn't be killing anybody. Doesn't matter if you got 2 feet, blue eyes, green eyes, red hair, none of that matters. They're kids, they're under 26. They think they're in a free country. They're acting like they're free. You do not have police throwing them in prison because it's fun. Or because it's racist. They do it because the laws are written that way. The laws go after the most poor people because poor people can't afford lawyers. All right?
Children. China is raping Muslim women by the thousands. Are you protesting? No.
Thousands.
Are you protesting about the LGBT?
Nope. Where are your morals? Where are your ethics?
Arab militias killed 300,000 blacks in Sudan not too long ago. Did that bother you? No. George Bush, Hillary Clinton, Joe Biden sent America to a war built on a bunch of lies that ended up breaking the Middle East and ended up in the deaths of, what, maybe 1 million people?
5
Did you protest? No.
Nope.
Iran is jailing women for 30 years only for the sin of removing their headscarves.
30 years. Think
Does
about
that bother you? No.
No. Saudi Arabia, women can't even
You
drive.
guys are hypocrites.
Hypocrites.
Because the reality is that everywhere in the world where there is real horror, real slave markets, real slavery, real slaughter of black people, real concentration camps, real persecution of LGBTs, real persecution of women, you don't give a shit about any of that. You don't give a shit about the leaders of both the Democrat and the Republican parties who caused slaughter of vast scale for nothing.
Vast.
But Trump, who hasn't done anything, who hasn't even gone to war when the American deep state keeps wanting him to go to war, he refuses to go to war, he refuses to kill people, that drives you nuts. You're stupid. I don't know how self-righteous you think you are. I mean, every bloody idiot in the world, like Salman Rushdie is giving lectures to Trump about tyranny and dictatorship. Jesus, really?
And why do people listen to it? Because hashtag hate Trump no matter what. Blue no matter who. No matter what happens, we have to fight the one man who ain't done really nothing. And I don't think he did what he do. He did something. I know he did something because presidents always do, but nothing's coming to mind at this moment in time. But they basically, and let me tell you how I think all this plays out. I think it all plays out because what they needed was they needed to lie to people. Like, if you've been following people who you call truthers for a while, you know, politicians, whistleblowers, people who've been telling you bad things are on the way. Remember, they planned this stuff out a long ways to go. They knew the wars were wrapping up. They knew that people were getting tired of them. They knew that eventually things had to happen on the homeland. They knew the dollar was collapsing. They knew that they eventually had to lock down America. They knew, not in terms of just lockdown for some flu damn season, but lockdown permanently, police state. They knew that they printed all the money since 1913. They needed a propaganda act. They needed to make legal the way that they've been lying to us from the very beginning, the way all kings and lords have. It's not anything new. This is just what happens in all government. They needed a way to divide the population significantly. They needed to cause a major collapse, right? But they needed to legalize the propaganda. They need to make it okay to do it. And they need somebody in office that you hate or that you love, that you bless everything they do or you curse them because they gotta be the demon, even though slavery started well before the demon was born. See, and this is what I'm saying. I don't focus on Trump, and I think that let me let him finish. I'm gonna let him finish. I just say that if the person that you're attacking has absolutely nothing to do with the conversation, if the person that you're attacking, the person that you hate and is driving your rally is a politician, and you know politicians really don't have any power, if the person that you're hating released more brown people from prison than any other president ever in U.S. history. Not to say he's a good guy. I'm just simply saying he's not the problem. All right? He's not the problem. Let this guy wrap it up. This guy is not a Trump supporter, but look what he says in the end.
I hope Trump wins in 2020. And I hope that he will make you guys cry for some more years yet. Because you guys are crooks and fools. You guys are dishonest. And you guys are full of self-righteousness that counts for nothing because you do not want to look at the real evils in the world.
Nope.
Hey, Trump, go Trump, make America great. Fuck him. Are you one of those people?
I'm sorry. Now, I think this is actually the real voice of the world. I think he summed it up. I mean, if you're in another country, you could let me know if you think that. I don't think what they're showing you on TV is the real. We're like, everybody's standing up with America because Black Lives Matter. No, the world is actually pretty sick of you. The world's pretty sick of your hypocrisy, your lies, your wars, your deceit. You turn your back and on everybody unless it's an American that dies or some political gain that you want. I think he's portraying the real message that the world wants to let us know. And the real message is a word I can't say. The real message is F them. That's what they're like, yeah, make America great again. Go on. You knew this was going to happen. I knew this was going to happen. We knew this was going to happen. And so you're swelling up the numbers of people who are cheering for Trump and voting for Trump because you're pissing people off and you're scaring people to fly. The same way you're growing racism and you're feeding into the problem, you're feeding into people who are going to vote for Trump. I'm gonna tell you, I told you few months ago, I'm gonna tell you again, Trump already won. Okay, he won 4 years ago. He won 5, 6 years ago. He already won. You can either make problems worse, we can focus on real problems, or you can continue to play political games. That's why I'm not out there protesting. I'm not out there marching. I have zero interest in the disaster capital off of black bodies, white bodies, children, war, stealing minerals, or any of it. All the reasons that the world hates us. The world hates us, and they are justified in hating us because we are hypocrites collectively. We're ignorant. We don't give two damns about nobody but ourselves. And that's why I'm saying that, well, Gerard, how come you always make excuse for the protesters? I say I understand. I understand seeing horrible things and wanting to make an action out of it. But we have to turn that boat around. See, because this boat right now is a political boat, and it's not going to solve anything. Politics literally is two political parties keeping people divided up so they continue to get votes and make profit from these big corporations. Here's another example. Another example I was thinking about this morning, listening to the Propaganda Act. In terms of the farmers, I posted did you guys see the tribunals? I guess they call them the international tribunals for the plandemic. Plandemic. Please say that with me, plandemic. Make it manifest into reality so people will really understand what just happened. All right. They're after, one side is after China, and the other side believes that it's a real virus going around killing people. The scientist on that lecture basically explained that it is most likely something that was created in a lab that had millions of dollars go from America to Wuhan, and it started at Fort Detrick. And it's something that was designed to spread fast but not kill people. And as a side effect, unfortunately, it would kill people with autoimmune conditions and a low elderly. And then it got released. And people could say, China, we gotta get China. You ever notice that one side is blaming China, the other side is blaming nature? Well, I'm kind of sitting in the middle, and I'm listening to this scientist talk, and he's basically saying, it looks like this was designed to create some sort of a global false flag to get everybody to lock down, and maybe China did it. Maybe China did the espionage that we always try to do. Maybe China did what everybody tries to do, what America tried to do and Russia tried to do, because everybody's fighting each other economically, and they realized that, yeah, we could shut down America if we release this thing, and they released it. Maybe it was because Trump, what did he do? He defunded, was the CDC or one of those big vaccine companies that y'all trust for your health. Maybe he defunded them, and that was one of the theories in the videos, that maybe he defunded them, he pissed somebody off in there, and they released it because they're losing their job, and this was one way they could get reemployed. I don't know. But I'm not Chinese. I'm related to everybody in China. I'm cousins to them, but I'm not Chinese. The Chinese government has no obligation to me. Right? So people, they listen to their government and they're like, yeah, we need to blame China. I'm like, but wait a minute, you colluding, you was colluding with them. This is bipartisan. This is why I'm not a GOP or DNC person. I'm just looking at the government. I'm like, wait a minute, now you caused the death of millions of people. Millions. They're starting to count the bodies now. They're starting to count them now. California had more suicides than people who died from the flu. More suicides alone. Child abuse went up, spousal abuse went up, spousal murders went up. You can't tell me that the abuse of senior citizens went up. What is that called? Senior abuse, that went up? Why? Because everybody's on lockdown. So we have officially, statistically, and factually made the solution worse than what the problem ever was. There need to be trials, there needs to be hearings, and we don't need to blame nobody else. Why? Because our government was colluding with whoever did it. Whether you think it was central banks, whether you think it was China or the big pharmaceutical companies, it doesn't really matter. Our government colluded by parties, both parties, to shut down and destroy our global economies. And most NATO allies, they all did it too. Your government colluded with whoever did this. Whoever did it doesn't really matter. You have an obligation to figure out for your damn self what you're supposed to do about that. And if your idea is to keep playing politics with two political parties that are always working together, who colluded with whoever just killed millions of people, that's a genocide. That was not a genocide. It damn sure was like a democide. It's something. But the idea that we're gonna let this slide, we ain't got nothing good coming, y'all gonna let this slide. Keep posting that vote 2020, and this is why people are out there protesting. Out there protesting because the political parties, they just want votes. They don't care. You think the Republicans are mad if the GOP is mad that y'all protesting? Oh, they love it. They're sucking. You're swelling their numbers. You're swelling their, oh, they love it. They love it to death. And the DNC, they love it too. They think they might win. But at the end of the day, they all are biatches for the big pharmaceutical industry, the biatches for the big chemical company, the biatches for everybody, every corporation that's poisoning you, your children, your water, who stole your land, and the central banks. They're colluding with all of them. Collusion, cohorts. They're cohorts. We need everybody get together, put all these monsters on an airplane. Was it Geneva? Send them over to Geneva. We need to have a convention. Is it Geneva? No. What was the name of the trials after World War II? We need investigations. You need to send them. This is not a time for votes. It's a time for investigation. They done murdered a whole bunch of people. So to me, you ask me, what are the riots about? I don't think it has anything to do with George Floyd. I think it has to do with you lock people down for 3 months who didn't have anything. They didn't have anything when it begun. Now the businesses are failing, they don't have a job, they can't even flick burgers if they want to. They didn't have no food before this began, let alone now, and they were upset. And now in the street looting. You can't tell me that somebody's upset that George Floyd was killed and they run to Target and the first thing they can do is break out the windows and go grab stuff. No, that's because you had them on lockdown. Thank you, Melissa, Nuremberg, and that's what we need. We need Nuremberg type trials. I gotta show you something else because this is what we need. These are rightful solutions. We got real problems in the world. Now, I'm not saying racism ain't real. I'm just saying that they're using your emotions to abuse you. And they're gonna abuse your children with it. And they're gonna keep locking them up and keep shooting them till they get RoboCops on the street, and they can do it highly, more efficiently without cops that are people that could act like the Ku Klux Klan on that bus. I'm thinking about, who was that? Richard Pryor. Y'all remember Richard Pryor? You know, right here, this is Richard. I remember Richard Pryor. Yeah, what happened? He told him there's blind kids on the bus, blind babies on the bus. Police got some sympathy. If you ask me, most police are good police. Well, all right. If you ask me, are most police good? It's such a hard. I think most police are good people. Most people are people. Most police would do what I would do in a situation if I were them, and because most people would do what you would do. You would do what most people do if you were in their shoes. All right. The problem in police, the problem is policing. It's the people writing the laws. It's the people writing the scarcity that creates increasingly poor populations that get turned into someone saying that group did it to you, right? Conflict-based economics. That's why I made that meme right there to piss y'all off. I made that for my white folk. Why did I make that for my white non-minority folk? So they can post it, and it's on my wall, the one I just hit. This one right here, I made it because so now if you share it on your timeline, it links back to my brown self, and I ain't even brown. I'm a little mocha left in the oven a little too long, and I love it. I love everything about me, and it's not even about like racial pride, because I don't think your skin color got anything to do with racial pride. It's whether or not you love yourself. We got too many people out here don't love themselves. All right, you know that from all of the plastic surgery that's going around. Women hiding their faces in makeups, and I'm not saying that makeup's a bad idea. I'm not saying plastic surgery is a bad idea. I'm saying you need to love you. If you know that you're just enhancing you know, your deodorant, cologne, perfume, whatever you're doing. If you're in all right, great. You know, but don't this whole racial pride thing. Races, once again, they're constructs of kings and colonizers and landowners and slavers and railroad tycoons and robber barons. They're not real. They're fallacies. Don't fight a fallacy. That's what I'm saying. This is why I don't play the racism game, because you're literally fighting something that's fake. There's no solution to fighting something that's fake. There is a solution to fixing the economic problems. There's a solution to getting rid of the conflict-based system economics that keeps groups opposing each other, that creates things like racism. Right? Well, okay, technically it doesn't create them, but it creates the emotions. And then the lords and the kings that run that system, they create the racism to get you out there fighting and tell you who to hate. All right? Now, what was I talking about? Richard Pryor on the bus? Yeah. Right, so there you go. So yeah, no, most police are just police. The problem is the policing system. Why do people need to be policed? Well, I'm a lover of freedom. I'm a lover of freedom. I don't believe in any of your politics, because your politics is about taking my freedom, which is why I can't have anything to do with it. I hope America gets made great. I'm not going to use the word again, like I did in my post yesterday. No, please make America great. And the only way you're going to make America great is you need to send the United States Incorporation back to Britain. That's what you do. And then Britain don't want them, then they need to go to Australia, and Australia don't want them. They need to go find a little space somewhere in Africa to give them a little plot of land. And they don't want a Washington, D.C. in there. You need to go ahead and put it in the ocean. Get rid of this idea of banks owning a corporation that's governing people. That has to go away. And that's, once again, that's why I'm not out there on the street. At the end of these speeches, that's all I hear is get out there and go vote. Go vote, 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 vote. And I realize that I'm just voting away my freedom. No, I'm not going to vote away my freedom, poor blacks' freedom, or poor whites' freedom. I'm not going to do that. Especially not with a bunch of privileged people that I know live in McMansion, drive nice cars, and don't give two damn about the poor people. They don't give two damn about it. They don't care nothing about these kids in these streets. When you care enough, you will do your own research to find out what the real problems are. You won't stand on political platitudes and making up things because it gets you lots of likes and gets you a nice little great picture that you can post out there on your Facebook or your Instagram that you're a part of some movement of kids that you don't give two damns about. Trust me, I grew up in the Washington, D.C. area. I told that story a million times. I didn't see the real ugly face of how people are turned against each other within your own thing called a race. Not interested in that. Poor people need food. Guess what? We got food. Feed them. Poor people need water. We got water. Give it to them. Poor people got land. You can give it. It's not called communism, capitalism, or anything. It's called solving problems. Right? When all these people in these masks, when they all got land and freedom to be left alone or whatever, guess what? They don't put on hoods. They stay home. They stay home. But your politicians can't have, the DNC cannot have that. They need to create racial problems. That's how they get votes. Now they got something to solve. See, people at home, they got everything they want in freedom. They don't get out there and vote. There's no problems to solve. You don't need more laws. You don't need a police state. You don't need 5Gs and all this other nonsense they're trying to put out there. They literally create problems. And now they got a propaganda act to make you pay for the problems they create. And if it's not slick and luster, flawless as a pandemic that you can't see through, a pandemic, then they create a propaganda act to lie to you to make it even slicker, make more sense. They could have funded the whole thing. They literally could have been lying to us since January about the whole damn thing. China could have just had their hands back in there like this. Because finally the Rothschilds and Rockefellers got a country stupid enough to got people voting for a government that says we own the authority to lie to you anytime we want. We can make up images, videos, and all the news if we want to. This is why most of my friends and I just don't believe the news. They don't believe it because your government told you. I did the meme. Y'all saw the meme. Where was it? They told you, listen, yeah, we got the authority to lie to you. And then my friends and I are like, yeah, okay, now they remember when they said they had the authority to lie to you. Y'all remember that was about 8 years ago? When was the problem? They tried to first slide that in that amendment into the NDAA. Then they got to create the Propaganda Act. Remember they told you that they have the authority to lie to you? Remember that? Yeah, I remember that. Okay, well, guess what? Right now they're lying to you. And the friends like, no, they not. Why they wouldn't do that? My government was like, come on, man, are you kidding me? Dude, you know what? Y'all remember the attention span of the goldfish stuff? People used to post on that, the attention. Poor goldfish, this is goldfishism. But the goldfish has the attention span of like a few seconds or something. You know, we are definitely the envy of the world's governments. They all want in America because we don't have the attention span we need to. We don't. All right, there you go. I'm done yelling. I'm sick of it. I hate talking about this. I hate talking about racism. We need to be talking about some aliens, man. That alien invasion's coming. Ain't gonna be no aliens. It's gonna be Space Wars. We need to talk about that. We need to go find out this Bigfoot out there and some ancient archaeology and some fun topics. Right? Go out there and see if Mugele and Mbembe, is that the dinosaur down there in Africa in the Congo? We need to find out if he's real. We need to focus on real things. There's a big universe out there. There's a deep ocean down there. You got people being grabbed in the ocean. They say a mermaid trying to grab me. And we busy talking about whether or not human beings need land and ecosystem to stay alive. No, stop with the racism. That's a side effect. If you care anything about these kids, dig down deep enough and you'll see why they're angry. They're angry because kids want to be free. They want to be free. And if they don't have the freedom, they lash out. They lash out. Did your teacher or your grandmama ever make you sit in a chair in a corner? All right, and kids, yeah, you don't want to sit in that chair in that corner. Grandmama knew that makes you way to work. right? You sit there, get the fussing and get that snot bubble. You there are people like, wait a minute, teachers, what? The teacher made you sit in the chair? Hell yeah. I was just on the back end of this. I got hit by some rulers. The teachers, they just stopped beating kids. You know, but when they sit you in that corner and then you can't see your friends, you're in the corner, you got the face. We didn't have to wear the dunce hat, but kids lash out because we got to run. We need recess. We need to move. That's why detention in school was you don't get to run outside with your friends at recess. When kids are born in your country and they're shown that they don't have no land, they don't have no food, they ain't got no freedom, they can't run, they're going to lash out. You know, and all the side effects of this and end up on this tribal groupism stuff. Like I was watching yesterday. It was something about, was it about slavery? What was I watching? I can go to YouTube and see what I was watching. I'm always listening to lectures and watching stuff. They were talking about, animal cruelty. That's right, animal cruelty. So this was animal cruelty to elephants in India, right? And I see hypocrisy everywhere. Like the brother said right there. Now we used to talk about, like, I love my vegan friends and stuff. I'm like, y'all need to calm down a little bit because people don't give two damns about human babies. They're not really gonna care too much about no animals, right? And so it was about the elephants. And yeah, they're abusing these elephants. It's rough over there. They get the hooks and stuff, and then they grab the baby elephants out the wild and they hook them and chain them up and do things to them to tame them. So y'all in the protest that live in the McMansions, when you go to India, you can sit on top of the elephant. I seen the pictures. Yeah. Abuse the elephant. They steal them from their mamas in the wild. They abuse the hell out of them. So when you go to India, you can get a picture for Instagram right next to the Antifa and Black Lives Matter. I'm actually standing up for the right things in my life. You know, that nonsense. They're good discussion. They're basically saying like, well, you know, how's that different than riding a horse? You capture a horse in the wild, you whip it. Although I think there are laws here where you can't catch them in the wild sometimes unless they do that Mustang run. You whip it, you beat it, you spur it, you make it do. And I'll admit that seeing blood gushing out of elephants is a little more aggressive, but it's not, it isn't too different. It's not too different. Principally, it's the same damn thing. All right, you're making a slave. That's what I'm saying. Principally, there's no difference. What is an economy? Anybody tired of me saying it's all economics? Like all of our, every single one of our problems is economics and is based around this monetary system. What's the difference between catching an elephant in the wild and beating it into submission that it'll carry Americans on its head, on its back, and catching people in Ireland, bringing them to America, enslaving them, beating them until they pick cotton and get tired and get rid of them, and then go to Africa, get some African slaves, bring them over here and beat them into submission so they will let billionaires ride on their backs and get a job, go to school, get an education, build a forced labor economy. Principally, it's the same damn thing. And that's what was on my mind. I'm sitting there like watching, and this is what I do, because I ain't got no life. I just garden and, and I listen to lectures. Like, you know, principally, that's the same thing. We steal animals in the wild and we make them do what we want them to do. We do it with tigers. And by the way, I don't appreciate nobody in my area because apparently it's a tiger loose in my area and I was out gardening yesterday. Tiger got loose out of Norristown Zoo, somebody told me. I'm out there gardening, I almost died. And I heard some noises in the bushes over there. I thought it was a squirrel, so I kept working. That might have been my last video yesterday. But what's the difference? Do free kids with land, food, water, do they kirk out and trample people and burn down the target in their neighborhood? You know, the same way elephants kirk out that psychology of being a slave and trample people in the circus tent. It's not different. It's not different. It principally is the same thing. But remember the labels, right? I don't care about an elephant because it's an elephant. Oh, I don't care about a horse because it's a horse. Oh, I don't care about the darkies because they got dark skin. Oh, I don't care about white people because they got white privilege. You see what I'm saying? Anybody picking up what I'm putting down? We literally feed into our problem. There's a Waldo in this crowd. We can't find the damn Waldo because you're filling it with static. You're letting politicians, authors, book writers, speakers, people who literally make careers on you having problems, get you to cause more problems So we can't find that damn Waldo and fix it. You focus on Waldo, the game ends. But they keep creating more Waldo-ish characters all around the racism. You keep swelling the number of people in the Klan that aren't really racist, but they're scared of you. You keep sending recruitment to the skinheads. You keep sending, it's on the other side too. I mean, y'all keep sending recruitments to the Antifa. You keep sending recruitments to Black Lives Matter because you won't listen to their stories. You won't base those principles that, you know what, everybody's life matters. Everybody's story matters. Doesn't matter if they're a woman, if they're this, that, they're from this country, that country. Everybody has a very real experience. All their emotions and feelings and pain are valid. When you don't listen, when you censor, there's the right word. When you censor hate speech. I hate the air quotes, but I was in corporate America, I ain't got no choice. When you censor hate speech, when you don't want to listen to people, you know, it's like online. When you censor the hate speech, what do? They go find a group that they can work with. I can't talk hate because I'm mad and angry online. Then I'm gonna go talk some hate to the people in the tent at nighttime with the hood on. And then you create real problems. Same thing in public. When you don't listen to poor people in the hood that are telling you, hey, you know, I don't have nothing. I never had nothing. I've been on lockdown for 3 months. Yeah, it needs to be, somebody's got to pay some prices here. We got to figure this thing out. I was working 4 jobs before this started, you know, and the trailer park too, and the burial too. We don't listen, we're apathetic. We literally censor people because we live in big privileged communities in suburban America. And this is why I tell people that, yeah, I'm privileged. I've been through some dirt. I'm privileged though. I had a privileged upbringing, but I've been through dirt. I've stuffed my belly full of bread so I can sleep at night. I've done that before. All right? I put myself through college. I've done that, right? You know, I just decided at a point in time that I wanted to do things for myself. I like being free. I don't like slavery. I told y'all that. Slavery is a choice. My father felt the need to tell me how I was going to live my life in college. And I was like, no, you ain't. No, you ain't. I'm out your house. He's like, all right, go ahead and pay for college. Okay. I went and got me a job. Shoot, I knew how to write software. I went out to work at that call center, worked my way up in the operations center. And while I was in college, then began to program while I was in college, all right? I did that. And it's not like anything I popped my collar. No, I did that because I was given a privileged mommy and daddy and a safe neighborhood, and I had food in my belly, and I had all those privileges. And so I became the best slaver I could become. You see what I'm saying? I said that yesterday. People were like, yeah, well, slavery's a bad idea, and your family owned slaves. First of all, less than 2% of white people in America are related to anybody that owned any slaves. And because only 2% owned slaves back then, and all the rest were poor whites. They were kicked off their land, and their only job they could do was to whoop you. Economics system, focus on that. That's number one. Number two, you would do it too. You would do it too. That's why I don't have any gaslighting for anybody when it comes to slavery and white privilege. No, I took my privilege and I ran with it. You mad at white folk for having white skin? You need to be mad at me too, because damn it, I went to college. I went to college, I did the best I could. I climbed through the corporate ladder, I became everything I could. And I was born at that time of Robert E. Lee. I wish I would be as progressive as Robert E. Lee, but I won't be. I know me, I wouldn't have been. I might have grown into it. But initially, I'd be the best that I can. And what the brother just talked about Congo and the Middle East and all the apathy we have in our hypocrisy, that's what corporate America is based on. It's based on killing people and stealing their resources so they can sell crap to America, things that they don't need. Consumerism. Slavery. All right? Slavery. It's never stopped. They just opened it up for the whole world. That's all. All right, I'm gonna read comments. I'm gonna get out of here. Yeah, I'm gonna post his link. I don't know who this brother was, but he hit it at the bottom of the ocean. Oh, that's right. I said I had something else I wanted to show you. Let me see. It was the tribunal, because we were talking about this pandemic. Yeah, there needs to be up there. A price has to be paid for this, so they're gonna do it again. We're gonna be right back here flu season again. Who did this? This is the emergency tribunal hearing. Did you guys watch this? It was a little piece of a wrap up that who was this brother? He's always on Dell. Let me see if I can show you this region real quick. He did a great wrap up. There has to always be consequences for lies. You can't have a government that believes it has an authority, the right to lie to you. If lies don't matter, then your lies will never matter. And it was a wrap up. Oh, Tenpenny, what's her name? Tenpenny, she was here. It was this brother right here who did the wrap up. Hang on. Let him, I gotta show you this right here. Just listen to this.
The sheer degree, scope of havoc and pandemonium that is being orchestrated in the lives of billions of people, hundreds of millions of vocations and jobs being lost, tens of millions of small business enterprises collapsing. The planetary autoimmune system, not just of human beings, but of all ecosystems, living systems, coming under threat by the perpetual cycles of the diabolical as it relates to bad science, bad medicine, being rolled out, being preferred, being orchestrated, being...
Bad science and bad medicine told to you by whistleblowers within the medical community and doctors.
Financed, and so on and so forth. In light of all of that, the misery that is being caused to countless families as elderly members of the families are dying in old age homes, sequestered away from the loving embrace of their loved ones, of their family. These are desecrations of the fabric of the soul of humankind that are incalculable. They make the Nuremberg trials look lightweight by comparison in some very real sense when one considers the true weight of the crimes being perpetrated against 7 odd billion souls. My question to you, Dr. Wakefield, is in that Nuremberg trial 2.0, which is certainly going to emerge out of the back end of this totalitarian attempt at the takedown of humanity, our global economy, and so on. In that Nuremberg trial, who ought to be in the front row as the primary defendants of a global class action? Individuals first and institutions second, please.
So to clarify, so what is he talking about? He's talking about pandemicism, not racism. He's talking about the millions of people who were just murdered being locked down in their house, your governments colluding with massive corporations, banks, China, bioweapons lab, whatever it might have been, whatever you believe in. Who should be on the front line of that Nuremberg trial? He's not saying anything about voting. He's not saying anything about get out there and let's do more of the same. He's saying we need to have trials to make sure this does not come again. All right, does not come again. If you have no idea what I'm talking about when I mention pandemic, because we get a lot of new people here, go back. I'm gonna post the link. Watch this whole thing. This was a good hour, 2 minutes wrap up of what we just experienced. It walks through the history of vaccines, and these are all doctors, by the way. These are not people on YouTube. A lot of y'all still doing your stupid YouTubeism, like, you get your information from YouTube. You get informed by YouTube, get informed by Facebook. You can even get informed in the mainstream media, just not as much. But then you go out and do your research. You study history, you study law. These are actual doctors.
Very good question. Given that they have the opportunity to present a defense as well as to face questioning, I think there are a number of people who need to explain their actions, including Tony Fauci, including Bill Gates, including the head of the World Health Organization.
We're talking about murder.
Including the Chinese, who were responsible for
all of them.
Biosecurity in Wuhan. The scientists who were conducting these studies, knowing that they had been shut down in the United States of America precisely because of the objections of fellow scientists and government dictates. But I would say this, let me just say this as a general comment, and that is because we appear to be in a somewhat dire situation. In Vax, we had a scene which we cut from the movie. Didn't make it in, but it was very telling, and it was...
He's talking about Vax. So he was the one who directed Vax, the movie. He said they cut something out the movie, which was very important. Now he's about to, not the movie, the documentary. He's about to tell you about it. This I found to be very interesting.
Red Square on May Day, at the height of the Soviet Empire, and it was terrifying. there were thousands and thousands and thousands of troops marching in perfect step. There were tanks, there were armored cars, missiles. The Politburo was standing there saluting as this huge display of power, of apparently indomitable power, went past. And it was terrifying. It could never fall. It could never, ever fall. And then in the blinking of an eye, it was gone. It was gone. So extraordinary things can happen, and they can happen when a few good people decide they should happen. And I really do believe that it is up to us to take charge of this, to take a collective responsibility, an individual and collective responsibility. And if we don't, then we should be on trial in the front row in those trials as well.
It's never too late, is what he's saying. It's never too late. Things look bad. Yeah, it looks bad. Things are blowing up. They are blowing up. Burning down. It always looks bad. The military's out there parading, getting ready. We want to start a war with China, start something with Iran, start something with Iraq. And people are like, well, it's too late. This is going on too long. No, everything can stop overnight. It has before, and it can again. And it only takes a few people. And that's why I appreciate people who keep showing up. The ones who are interested in alternative views. They know alternative views are not white supremacy. That's what people who say who are just trying to abuse you. All right. We need alternative voices. We need more of them. We need more people speaking up, and we need more of you sharing for those who aren't speaking up. You can turn things around. Things don't have to go this way. They can stop cold overnight. Hang on, let them finish.
Dr. Wakefield, Dr. Tenpenny, the court salutes you both for your service to humankind. We thank you very much for your testimony today. I'd like to thank you both very much indeed for attending. Commissioner Sandra Rose Michael, thank you. Trustees, Mercy Wolf, Reverend Dr. Nancy Ash, and Thomas Brown, thank you. Thank you to
You're going to have to go back and watch it. In fact, I do have to get running, but there was another statement in this hearing, if you will, and he was talking about a bioweapons lab, and I forgot where it was. But it was basically, and I thought he was going to say that at the end. It was probably a little before that. Where, if somebody watched it, comment on it. Where there was an earthquake and something got released. And it might have been China. These things have happened before. These things have happened before. Right? No one's saying it's naturals. No one's necessarily saying that it's a bioweapon. But should we literally have governments creating weapons that could completely eradicate every man, woman, and child on this planet, or take us back to the Stone Ages? These are core level principle discussions and questions that we need to ask ourselves, and we're not asking. But if the people who pulled this off, if they get away with it, we're in big trouble. There always has to be consequences. You always got to spank the people who did it, because I'm convinced the people who did that, in my mind, they're the ones who are behind the riots. They're the ones that are behind the emotions, because I know that these speakers aren't true. I know that they're not real, and I know they don't give two damns about Black lives or anybody's life, because at the end of their messages, they say go vote. They go say vote for you're going to a protest that's supposed to be protesting the police state. And at the end of the rally, they tell you, or the end of their speech, they tell you now go out there and vote for the people that created the police state. Go out there and vote for the political parties, one that didn't do anything about it, but they started it, and the other that took it way too far with the crime bill, and nobody helped anything. No one stopped anything back. That's how I know they're all faking a phony. Not the people out there. The people, we're sheep. All right, we're herd. Once again, we are only as smart as the information we have. We can only process the amount of data that we're given. I'm just lucky enough, and a lot of people here, that we just have a little more data. That's all. We're not better than you. We're not smarter than you. Nothing like that. It's just we were lucky enough to be exposed to alternative views, and now we're saying, hey, y'all, we need to pull back here. We need to pull back here. If we don't work together, right to left, Democrat to Republican, black to white, immigrant to American, Chinese to American, American to Belgian. America's always in that discussion, but that's another whole topic. If we don't work together, you're talking about people who don't give two damns about 7 billion people across this planet over what they can gain in profit. We're in big trouble. We are in big trouble. We can stop it. We can stop this train at any moment. All right, let me do comments. I gotta get out of here. Animal abuse cuts deeper than human abuse. Maria, I agree with you in that it cuts deeper because animals can't say, ow, that hurts, don't do that. Animals can't get together and form something and stand up, and unless the tigers or lions, but that's a different discussion. But the point is, until we get people giving more damn about these kids than they do about themselves, their Instagram, their Facebook, their likes, the need to put on a black shirt, grow out an afro, and show everybody how tough they are or how smart they are because they went to a social distancing protest in a damn face diaper. I'm sorry. Sister Danielle St. John's so funny. She called y'all's things a face diaper. And I was thinking about how I have to wear one too when I go to Home Depot. But it's the other side too, because y'all get out there and protest. You're protesting to restart slavery, to restart, this criminal activity, this forced labor of taking people and forcing them to work for billionaires and massive corporations in a land where you can't even own land. Right? There's always two sides, and both of them are horrible sides to be on. They're horrible sides to be on. But until you get people to give a more damn about the future generation, their kids, their nieces, their nephews, these kids being shot by police, both white and black, and the police who shoot them because they're scared. Right? And the police who shoot them because they're scared. When you give a damn about everybody in the conversation, you realize these are all economic problems. They're all resource problems. Then you got to drill a little deeper. That's all I'm saying. All right, clarity. Yes, Jackie, clarity is most important. That's how you solve problems. Elaine is talking about freedom, number one. Elaine, if we don't have freedom, we don't have anything. I'll live free on my feet. And when I die, when they do to me what they got to do to me, it's going to be on my feet. I might be laying under a bush, but it's metaphorically going to be on my feet. No, I'm going to live free, or I'm going to die free. I have no interest in these bankers and these colonizers, right? This is what's bringing along a great discussion about sovereignty, right? This is what's bringing along, and it's offering a podium and a platform for understanding what the United States, all caps, incorporated actually is, and that it came from Britain, right? And that is still subject to the Bank of England and the Queen, right? This is bringing that discussion. Well, maybe we need to go be American citizens. Like that's why I disagree with the other side. I'm not for anybody's protest. The other side, one wants to restart slavery and one wants to vote for the people that create the police state to solve problems. I'm like, no, that's not going to solve anything. What Elaine just said, freedom is number one. We need a paradigm shift. We need to go back. And until we kick out this United States Incorporated, instead of keep voting for it, we're in big trouble. You want to make America great again? You need to send them back to Britain. That's what you do. We become Americans again. Beaufort and I started talking about it yesterday. No, I'm not. I don't know why people think I'm some kind of an angel. I don't even know what y'all. What's wrong with your head, man? I grew up in Washington, D.C. Nobody grew outside the outskirts of Washington, D.C. in a privileged neighborhood or not, and wasn't trying to buck the system. Oh no, the things that we saw, no. There go Brother Mark. Yeah, he grew right down the street. I know Brother Mark. I've been bucking the system a long time. Do I say what I'm always up to? No, I do not. Why? This is a public platform. But we do need to walk away from our consent in every way we can. How you walk away from consent, that's up to you. I'm listening more and more to people who read the law and the legal system. There are ways to live as an American citizen as opposed to a commodity to the United States Incorporated, and we need to go that direction, but we got to do it the right way. And the only way to do it the right way, you actually have to study the law, because they have a whole dragnet police state that can't wait to say you're a sovereign citizen. They got the police thinking now that that's white nationalism, and that is terrorist number one. And to a degree, they're right. being a peaceful sovereign citizen of America, the American Republic, as opposed to the United States Incorporated, to them, that's terrorists. The bankers and the corporations that own that corporation that you think is a government, but it's a corporation that's governing. Yeah, you are terrorist, number one. You want to be free. What Elaine just said is the most terrorist thing that anybody can say to these people. They own a slave plantation. They literally own a forced labor tax plantation, and you are their commodity. To say that you want to be their commodity more, that's like a slave saying, no, I'm gonna run off this plantation. They murdered slaves for that. And they've murdered sovereign citizens for that. So yes, we all need to do that, but we need, well, I'm saying take that back. Now I'm saying we all need to do that. Now, that's something that I'm looking to do, right? I've done things in my past, and like I said, you need to do them the right way or they will throw you in prison. There's a right way to do things. So anyway, but we got to do things the right way. You have to study how to legally escape the dragnet that is over top of us. All right. First ring of the gatekeepers. All right. Thank you, Melissa. Good morning. Greetings to all just turning in. Good morning, Sandra. Each of us needs to be Neo and Trinity. Absolutely, Jackie. It's time to stand up. That's why I listen to G. He's on YouTube. Don't trust nothing on YouTube, Bofine. But you know that. He's joking. Don't trust nothing, nobody on YouTube. Don't trust nobody, nothing on Facebook. Don't trust me. Do your own research, and damn sure don't even watch the news. The news, they got some sort of digital signal making people stupid in that. Good morning, Christine. Hey, Sandra. Good stuff. Yeah, the truth is always good stuff. Hey, Maggie. Hey, Riley. Good morning. Alternative. Yeah, alternative voices does not mean racism. It just means right now, racism almost has no meaning anymore. When I hear it, I hear that, okay, it means you disagree with somebody who's not your race. That's what it means. It doesn't even mean anything. You got a whole crowd of Waldos. We can't even address real hate. I mean, there is some real mentally ill hate out there, but we can't even get to it because you're throwing people in the bucket, and it's a game of find Waldo because you didn't do research. You don't have facts, and that's what people do. They make stuff personal, right? When they don't have an answer, you know, they do a personal attack on you. And there are others that don't do personal attack. They just go and say, oh, it's white privilege, it's white supremacy, it's white blah, 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 blah. You know, it's the same thing as calling somebody a doo-doo head. It just means, yeah, well, just say, you know what, I'm wrong. I don't really have an answer for that, or I'm not sure. Let me go back and do some research. I'm pretty sure I'm right, but I don't have an answer to you right now. Let me come back to you. You don't default to racism and white privilege. That's called being stupid. All right, that's called causing more problems than solving problems. Using your privilege when there are real people out there who need help from the truth. And the truth is, there are a lot of people in a lot of in harm's way. Let me see, what's that? Brain sipping. What's brain sipping? Brain mapping has shown them how to turn off the pineal gland. Jackie, I believe that to be true. I think that they are so far in research and ahead. I think they resolved the whole telomere, reactivating the telomerase enzyme for the fountain of youth. We know they got free energy. They solved that in the 1940s, 1950s. We know that that's them up there flying around in most of these UFOs. Maybe not all of them, but damn sure most of them. And they just keep everything from us. They keep everything from us because we're a slave plantation. If you are a master and you lead a plantation, you find a new piece of technology to enslave or that might free your slaves, the master doesn't come home and say, here, slaves, here you go free yourselves. And master don't do that. Master comes and says, I went to the moon, I found something, I dug into this archaeology and found something, I figured something out, I'm not gonna share it with you. And that was a good example of the telephone. When they found the first telephone in Latin America, they didn't come home and share it with us. When they found North America, they didn't find the other people was here. They didn't say nothing for hundreds of years. All right. When they find something, they don't bring it home to the slave. We are literally, but no, once again, slaves got universal health care. We are not even slaves. We are commodities. We are owned by the bank. They own us by our birth certificates. That's why we need to reclaim them. Gerard, hey, honored to be at this moment here with all of you. I am too, Melissa. I'm completely honored to be around these people. These are the only people that keep me from going insane. I can say something, it's like, oh, okay, this is making some sense. I thought it was just me that they got a propaganda act. They're guaranteed the right that they can lie to the public and the public can fund it. They can create pandemics, they can create false flags, they can get us in wars, they can murder a bunch of people. And that doesn't seem like a sentient thing to do to me. If you usurp the authority to lie to me and you're so arrogant about it, you do it in the public, obviously my life doesn't matter. If lies don't matter, of course my life doesn't matter. I'm not going to beg, I'm not going to ask, and I'm not going to march for it. I already get nobody's life matters to you. I get that. You're a corporation. Only profit matters. Hey, Jeannie, good morning. It's never too late for change. It's never too late, Susan. You know, it's never too late. That's a cop-out for lazy people who don't want to do anything. It's a cop-out for lazy people who just want to make a Sharpie sign and keep yelling the same crap they've been yelling for 200 years that nobody cares about, and it never changed anything. Time to get deeper on the principle level, look at what these monsters want and take it from them. They want the land and the resources. They don't get to have it, we take it back. Haha, I've been wearing a face mask diaper at the YMCA when I walk to the swimming pool where I can take it off and swim 6 feet away from the next person. Kentucky Fried Mama, I saw pictures of that. I saw pictures of people swimming, social distancing, and they got their masks. And there's people with immune systems that have challenges, and I keep telling myself, I need to be respectful of that. I try to be Kentucky Fried Mama, but anytime I put that diaper on, I just feel like a child. I feel stupid. I feel like I'm a part of a psyop, and I'm helping everybody else we're reinforcing this idea that there's something out there in the air instead of we just got a government that claims they can lie to us and they'll always do what makes profit. I feel so stupid with that thing on, but I have that thing to make it look like I want to rob a stagecoach now. One of those things, handkerchief things you put over your face. I got one of those now, and I still don't like to wear that. All right, but no, it's never too late for change. Ooh, I'm losing my voice. So true, brother Gerard. Crush those narratives. The narratives got to be crushed, Sandra. They got to be crushed. It boggles my mind why anybody thinks the people who would literally build a pedophile-filled mass incarceration system to take our children and fill them up in prisons, writing laws for billionaires on Wall Street, taking our rights, that those people are here to help us. They're going to save us. Voting harder for them is going to help us more. No, you keep voting for them, the police state's going to get worse because that's who they are and it's what they're doing. It's literally their job description. And that's not even conspiracy. That's just damn history. But people don't read law. So yeah, Sandra, we have to be in solidarity with everybody, all these kids that are in these prisons that should not be there. No. They were living free and they got a right to live free. Just because you got a bunch of people in the street who don't seem to know that or don't seem to care about that, we need to have that discussion. Hey, Tresha, good morning. The media should be sued. Yes, Christine, they line them up. The media should be up there with Fauci and Bill Gates, the pharmaceutical industry, the chemical industry, the deep state, these bureaucracies, everybody who colluded with China or Big Pharma or these vaccine companies that have patents, who are all of them. They need to all going over to Nuremberg. And the only way we're going to get them there is we got to do it together because they're not going to get on that airplane alone. You need the right to help you, and you need the left to help you. But in order for that to happen, you got to listen to each other's stories. There are more mentally challenged people out there than the immune challenged people. Yeah, well, this is Ivana, and that got me in Facebook jail, so I'm not even sure if I can still say it anymore. But if you look at the statistics for mentally ill, the numbers are through the charts, they're through the roof, and that's why we got to listen to each other. Because it's like I was talking to my son yesterday, Ivana. I was telling him, it's like there's no true competition. Like we have a competition-based society, but there's no true competition. He runs cross country and track. I said there's no really true competition. Everybody's got different muscle structures in their legs in terms of size and density and DNA. Other kids compete at different levels. Like you can't expect a child that doesn't have food at home and breakfast to come to school and pay attention to no damn math, science. There's never a true competition. There's no such thing. And so there are people who are mentally challenged who are out there protesting. Some of them to go back to slavery work and others to go and to vote for the people who create the police state, to create more of the police state to save them. They're mentally ill people, but abusing them is the wrong idea. I think we have a little more information. We need to share that information and accept the fact that, that's going to piss some people off. But there are some people who can't process that, right? They're going through stuff. I mean, the people who created this system were geniuses. They literally created a conflict-based economic system that makes people mentally ill. It makes them hate other people for their skin. It makes them hate other people for where they were born. It makes them hate other people for their genitals. It makes them hate other people for their sexual preference. Like, there's so much to it. I think all we got to do is just chill and say the things that are true. It only takes a small number of people to turn the complete system around and do a whole 180. Good morning, Chris Lewis. Good morning, Rebecca. Amen, amen, amen. Melissa is in church this morning. How are we treating voters this time around? Ooh, well, Chris, all we got to do the same thing we did last time. All we can do is tell them. It's all we can do. It's all we can do is tell them. I mean, there are people who really, they've attached their identity to voting, right? And you know this, right? They've attached their identity and their personality and all their hope into a political system that doesn't give two damns about it. You know, those people are going to lash out when you tell them the truth. And so all I say, hey, read the law. Read the law, read the law. Just read the law. All you got to do is stay calm and read the law. The law will tell you what these people are up to. On television, they will not tell you what they're up to. They hide reality there. And some people will wake up, Chris, and some people won't. And that's, some people will flip out and call you racist, even though Chris Lewis is brown as I am, but that's okay. That's, you know, once again, the mentally ill are just here. You know, we got to love them too. Bing! And at the button, wait a minute, and on a button is Fauci's scarcity's narrative. Bing. Oh, Bing, are you replying to somebody else? Or does that mean the faux competition mentally is essential to cultivate the youth so they can grow up and use it against each other? Oh, absolutely, Mag. It's child abuse. It's complete child abuse. The Department of Education is child abuse. Okay? Forced medication is child abuse. Foster care is child abuse. All these things are human trafficking and child abuse, and they're breaking kids, literally breaking them. And we have to be there for them. We have to take away the emotional arguments, racism, all the isms. We need to get rid of those emotional arguments. Communism, capitalism, socialism, all the isms, they're all false. They're all fallacies. They all did this. They created this evil little psychopathic world that turns brother on brother and sister on sister, and we need to get rid of it. And child on child. Deadly weapons in the hand of maniacal sociopaths. Absolutely, Maria Rochelle, and the most dangerous system or weapon is the media. It literally weaponizes people for profit and votes. What is the name of this talk and interview of doctors and scientists? I'm going to post it. Who asked that? Christine, thank you for sharing. That is, it's the emergency hearing, and this is hearing number 6. I didn't 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I missed. This is 6. It's with Dr. Andrew Wakefield and Dr. Sherri Tenpenny. They did most of the talking, but you had a whole bunch of them. Mark Pierce was there, Mercy Wolf, Dr. Sherri Tenpenny, Dr. Nancy Ash, Thomas Brown, Dr. Sandra Michael. There's a whole bunch of them. And Dr. Andrew Wakefield. I'll post the link so you can watch the whole thing and tell me what you think, Christine. Everybody do that. Watch the whole link, share it with other people. We do need to hold people to account. Those who colluded, not just the ones that we don't like, not just the Chinas, not just the pharmaceutical industry, not just the bankers. We need a full-scale investigation to find out who killed millions of people, because this is basically, it's another 9/11. I don't care how you look at it. How I see it, this is just another 9/11. We're either going to treat it like it was a problem, or they're going to do it again. It's going to be a hell of a lot worse. And as much as I want to see a UFO come out the sky, that's a hologram. As much as I want to see Americans run through the street yelling and screaming, save me, government, they ain't never cared about me. As much as I want to see that, as much as I want to see that, no, the Americans, they gonna take it real. They gonna be real about it. They, oh no, I don't want to see that. What is that called? Operation Bluebeam. Something about Operation Bluebeam, where they're gonna do a staged alien invasion. If these people can pull off a flu is trying to kill you, hell yeah, they're gonna try to pull off aliens trying to kill you. It's just gonna be in ships of technology that they just never wanted to share with us. And once again, doesn't mean that aliens aren't real. It just means that aliens don't really care too much. Aliens are kind of like our government to a degree. Aliens are kind of like political parties. They actually don't really care about you. Well, no, technically aliens and the people that we worship, the God things y'all call aliens, whatever, they are apathetic. And maybe they're just letting us learn, how to grow up. They're letting us experience some things. But the government, no, that's just a system. It's not people, and I'm not talking about the politicians. I'm talking about the system. The system is completely indifferent to you existing as a life. You know, the people that beat these elephants in India so you can ride them and cut them up with blood coming out, they actually view the elephant as a life. They view it as a commodity, and they don't want it to die. They just want to get it to go out there and go to college, get a degree, and serve in their labor force, right? But these systems, conflict-based systems that are based in scarcity and keeping resources from people, they don't give two damns about you. They don't even recognize you as a life. We need to free the human race. You free the human race like Pat Riley says, then you can start talking about freeing animals. But until you get people to give a more damn about their kids than their Instagram, you get and see that they're helping create more racism by fighting racism, by literally throwing fire on fire, as Fred Hampton says. All you're doing is creating an inferno. You're creating an inferno or Waldos. And they didn't have to be Waldos. They're Faldos. They're fake. They didn't actually hate you, but they're scared of you. You're in the street burning things down. They see other people look like them, putting fake chains around their necks and stuff, saying, I'm sorry for slavery. It's like, yo, dude, I didn't know you own slaves. You own slaves, really? That's bad, man. Where'd you own your slaves at? I own my slaves in Big Pharma, personally. Big Pharma and the fast food industry and the auto industry and government. I've worked all over the place. I own a whole bunch of slaves, but I didn't know you. But why? I'm supposed to. But you know what? As much as I was a manager and I had some slaves, no, I'm not going. You're not gonna get me put no chains on my hands and sticks on my neck out there being abused by people because I'm stupid. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Nah, if there's gonna be a movement, you gotta bring pride in you, not pride in your race, not pride in anything ignorant. You need to bring pride in you. You need to love you for you. I don't care if you get the booty job and the butt job and the lip job and wear makeup and deodorant, wear nice shoes and buy big cars and houses and stuff. You gotta love yourself. Love yourself. You have all that other stuff as a bonus. You have to have pride in yourself. You cannot bring people to an economic fight with billionaires and bankers and massive corporations with no self-esteem. And this is what you do when you treat folks like that and put them out there in the street and make them chain up and humiliate themselves as grown adults in front of other people. I'm sick of that. Y'all need to stop that. Stop that. You're an abuser. Stop abusing people. Stop getting in line behind other people trying to abuse them. Cut it out. All right, Eddie going. Y'all have a great day. It's Gerard. Love y'all to death. I am out of here. Bye and bye. Free the people. Free the people. This is the real fight. Free the people. Free the people. All of them. Every last one of them. Love y'all. Bye.
You wanna free the people and Mother Nature too. Close down all the zoos. Do you wanna boom, 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 boom? Do you wanna boom?